All right, so the capital stack, right? This is a term you'll hear in the business. It just talks about how you're going to fund your deal. Where's all the money going to come from, and how do you layer these different stacks of capital together in order to take a deal down? So, quick example: say we got a $10 million deal. How is that going to look? Well, you got your first capital player, the largest capital player, and that's going to be a bank. You're going to get anywhere from 60 to 80% financing from your bank. I like to get as much of this, much of the capital stack field from the bank as possible, because it's a large chunk of money, and today's interest rates are incredibly low. So you get the best bang for your buck by getting the lowest interest rate. So hopefully you could get anywhere as close to 80% on a deal as possible from a bank. So you want a lending institution to contribute 80% of the capital stack. So in this scenario, $10 million deals, we're going to get $8 million of that coming from the bank. Now, question: where's the other $2 million going to come from? And you have various ways of filling that 20% gap in this scenario. One of those ways is what we call mezzanine debt. And so this is another lending institution that will actually give you a loan behind the first lending institution. And you have to be careful with doing this, because you have to make sure that the first lending institution is okay with it, that they will allow you to do it, that you meet all their criteria, stipulations, but it's another way to do it. What's going to happen is that mezzanine debt is going to be at a higher interest rate. So maybe you got 4% interest rate from the bank. Mezzanine debt may come in 8%, 9%. It can fluctuate, but basically that's another stack of the capital. Usually doesn't go all the way to cover the 20%. You may get another 10% out of mezzanine debt, or you may have to come up with the additional 20% all from private equity. And so when we're talking about raising capital, this is a third way we talk about the private equity portion of the capital stack. And this is where you as an operator have the funds yourself, or you raise capital from investors who will put it into your deal. And so that capital is going to be attracted to you, to your deal, and also by a preferred return usually. So you're going to give them some sort of return on their investment for placing money into your deal. Now, you'll take that, you'll try to fill the remaining gap that you have there. What's been happening on more recent deals is they're actually dividing up the private equity into two tiers. So one tier may have like a flat 10% return, and the next tier may have a 7% return. Why do it that way? What happens is, as you analyze deals, you understand that you are able to make much more attractive gains in property if you carve out a section of your private equity and give them a preferred return instead of, or you give them like a flat rate return instead of giving them preferred return and participation in the upside. So how does this look? It'll be a portion of the capital. Say in our example, we have that $2 million gap. So we'll say, call it 200,000 of that will be for a straight line equity prep, which means you're going to get 10% on your money, but that's all you're going to get. So $200,000 of that will go to that tier, and they're just going to get 10% on the money throughout the life of the loan. Then you have another preferred equity piece that will get maybe a 7 or 8% preferred return, and they will also participate in the upside. So this structure allows you to get a lot more aggressive on pricing. And so when you're trying to analyze deals and you can't quite get to the number that they're looking for, at least not making those returns as attractive as they would need to be, you can implement this structure in order to help juice those returns a little bit for the private equity investors who are going to participate in the upside of the deal, as well as carve out a piece to give someone who says, hey, I just want to play it safe. I want to make sure that I get my 10%, and you will structure the deal that way so that those people are getting a safe, consistent return and they know what to expect. So that's your capital stack in a nutshell. You got bank lending, you got mezzanine debt, you got private equity, and then within private equity, you got multiple ways that you can structure that through tiers in order to get the most aggressive pricing as you're pursuing deals. So hopefully you found that helpful, and I will see you in the next video.